Welcome back, Shalligators. Well, Pete Davidson, lock up your moms, dude, because he's back on the market. He's broken up with 3 named girlfriend Chase Suey Wonders. I do not trust people with 3 names. Lee Harvey Oswald. Need I say more? I didn't think so. So we're gonna try to figure out what happened here. There's not a lot of intel. And actually, you know, when you think back on his relationships and his breakups, there's not a lot of intel on all of them. Like, what happened with him and Kim Kardashian? What even really happened with him and Ariana Grande? Do we know? Did we know at one time and now I've forgotten because I had to clear up some mental bandwidth? Did I just empty the trash and that went out with it? I don't know. Plus, we're gonna do a gossip roundup of some other things going on in Hollywood today, including Lizzo's countersuit. We have Ariana Maddox clapping back at Bethany Frankel because Bethany's podcast with Rachel Levesque, not Raquel, it's Rachel, girl. That's getting like a ton of backlash and I don't really understand why, but we can talk about it. We're also going to talk about the Republican debates and listen, only a little bit, plus some other fun things, including Britney getting close to her felonious housekeeper. Nature abhors a vacuum. Okay, but before we get started, you guys join the Shallon Entourage. If you're looking to make connections, you want some friends, you want some sisterhood, you have friends, you have a whole community where you live, but you honestly need a bit of a break. You want to get out of your head. Maybe you're going through a breakup, a loss, you're stressed with stuff, and you just want a beautiful, wonderful, supportive online community. I got you. The Shallon Entourage is the place for you. We've got like 12 different group chats. I'm on there all day, just like, here's what I ate for lunch. Like, we're just sharing things back and forth, everything from beauty to politics. Oh my gosh, manifestation practices, health and fitness. There's something for everybody. Plus, you get 5 bonus videos from me a week. This week, we're talking about firing your therapist. The most annoying types of texts to get from your friends, like them, and I am asking your advice. I'm just sharing a lot on there. Plus you get access to Eva Week, our sexy session hookup tutorial series, Shallentine's Day. Oh my gosh. Oh, and the online dating course. So it's a great bang for your buck. And you can come and you can make a bunch of friends and connect with me. It's so much fun. I love it. I fucking love it. Okay, let's talk about Pete Davidson. So he was with this girl, Chase Suey Wonders. Again, 3 names, don't trust it. Who he co-starred in this movie that also has 3 words, which I also don't trust. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I guess it was like a comedy horror. No, thank you. And they've been dating for a year. And I actually kind of thought that they were gonna like get married. I just had this feeling, and I know, I'm surprised I'm wrong, because I feel like his relationship with Kim Kardashian, who he dated right before Chase, was so like over the top, like media sensation. I mean, I covered it on here. It was what you would expect dating Kim Kardashian, the most famous woman in the world. And I think he broke her heart. I think he did. Just the way she kind of talks about it seems like it was painful for her. And when he got together with Chase, who, she doesn't seem like a celebrity to me. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't have this like star quality the way his exes like Kim, Ariana, Emily Ratajkowski, Kate Beckinsale, the most magical woman in the world. If you put her in a lineup with those people, you're like, oh, is she a nurse? Like, she like a graphic designer? Like, she just doesn't seem like she's a Hollywood star, you know? Very shiny hair, very nice skin. Love all of those things. And my bangs are driving me insane today, I'm sorry. So I actually thought that this would translate to a really solid long-term thing with him, because you go from something as intense as Kim Kardashian, all that attention, and you date someone who's like kind of under the radar. Like, I can't imagine people are mobbing her on the street, you know? Like, had you ever even heard of her before this relationship? I hadn't. She dated Charles Melton from Riverdale. Oh, I know. Are they both half Asian? Ooh. You know I like Asian guys. He's so hot. Yeah, I just thought that they would go the distance because I thought maybe he would crave the opposite. People tend to overcorrect after a breakup, and we do this as well. You know, you date someone who is more introverted and he like can't ever go to a party with you and he's anxious and he can't talk to your friends. Who do you date after? The life of the party who turns out to be a cokehead. Like, that's the overcorrection. And then hopefully at some point you can correct and come back to a middle path. Like, yeah, I want a guy who is not the last man standing at an event, at a party, but he's not like at home doing a puzzle. You know, you want someone who's kind of a mix of things. And I thought, okay, maybe Chase Suey Wonders was this person. She's famous and she's in Hollywood and she can hang, but she's like kind of chill. Evidently not. But listen though, dating Pete Davidson is not exactly dating the average dude around the corner. You know, it's not like you're dating a pharmacist. Pete has a whole litany of issues, and we forget, or I forgot, that he was recently in rehab for like a month, maybe 2 even, for borderline personality disorder, which is not a lot of fun, and PTSD. Now, from what? We don't know. I don't know. Can you imagine if it was from dating Kim and she's like, oh, well, fuck me. Can you imagine someone, if like you just existing sent someone to rehab? And, you know, the reports at the time were like Chase stuck by Pete through all of that. That was, I think, 2 months ago. And now they broke up. And my first thought, as a woman who has dated someone who has been to rehab and who has loved messy men, was, these hoes ain't loyal, you know? These men, this is why I say, don't be a man's therapist. Don't be his therapist. Because what could very likely happen is he gets all fixed and then he looks at you, this sponge of all of his bad behavior, this sin cake eater, this touchstone of the worst time in his life where his ego, aka his identity as a man, was at the absolute most fragile and lowest and just shittiest. And he funnels all of that into you and is like, you gotta go. Hey, I feel great. I'm gonna start over with someone who doesn't know what I'm like at my worst. They've never seen that, and I can start over as a man. My ego can reset. Fortunately, girl, you're just a reminder of those wild and woolly bad days, right? Has that happened to you? You fixed up a man and he's gone. Just ask Halsey. She has like a whole fucking album about this in G-Eazy. You're fixing up a man for the next girl and he's breaking you down for the next man. Oof. But you know, we've said this, we've explored this a lot on here, a lot, where it's like, well, what are you supposed to do? That's your man. That's the guy you love. And you know, I'm literally going through this right now with an ex who, like, we're not together and I don't want to be because where he's at is not okay, but I'm still pulling up for him because he's like in a bit of a time of crisis. And it's like, well, because I'm a good person and because I love him, like, as a human, you know? Like, what am I going to be like, well, I don't know, bye. And I think that this is always something we struggle with. And not just as girls who love a guy, but like parents struggle with this with kids who are addicted to Oxy or something. Like, how much love is too much love? How much support is unhealthy and enabling? You know what I mean? It's almost easier if it's a parent because it's like, well, you're supposed to stick by your kid. And you know that the kid's not going to grow up and get healthy and be like, well, I don't need my parents anymore. Everyone needs their parents. You know, you come back to family. They don't need to come back to you. It's really, really tough. It's really tough. If you have successfully helped a man navigate through a crisis, how did you do it? Like, what was the blueprint there? How much did you help him? And the analogy I have used on here a ton is, you're a cheerleader, not a football player, okay? No one is passing the ball to Britney and having her run the play to Deshaun. No one's doing that. Britney is on the sideline with Cassidy, E-I-G-H, Cassidy. They are in their zone, like, you can do it. And that's all they're doing though. At no point in time do those cheerleaders like, do you think we should run the play? Do you want to do the button hook formation, Addison? Or like what? No. They're like, no, this is where we are. And like, hey, I hope you can do it. If not, hey, I don't know, man, it's kind of your deal. It's your own game you're playing, you know? And at no time do Deshaun and Julius say, yo, you think we should stretch out and try and get in a human pyramid? They don't do it. Everyone, there's a separation. And that's easy in a football game. It's obvious. In a relationship, when we as women are told that the secret to longevity in the relationship is essentially codependence, you have to care more about their problems than they care about their problems. Why do we get that message? Have you heard of parenthood? What the fuck is motherhood if not that? If not that. Good mommies are so incredibly enmeshed in their child's life that they lose themselves, that they lose their, marriage so much of the time. They lose their relationship with their partner. We as women are conditioned to be like that. with our best friends. When you hurt, I hurt. Is that good? Is that healthy? I don't know. Some of that is good. That's empathy. That's bonding. But what is the tipping point where it turns sour and toxic? And look, dude, how do we define toxicity? Well, let's go back to Niccolo Machiavelli. The ends justifies the means. I define that kind of enmeshment as toxic if he fucking leaves at the end of it. If I'm pulling up for you and I'm a rider and I'm supporting you getting healthy or sober or whatever it is, and you stick around and you reward me with loyalty and love and a 4-carat diamond ring, oh, it doesn't seem toxic at all. It seems like a path to a good, solid relationship. But if you turn around and leave me, oh, wait. Suddenly I regret everything. It's a very tricky position to be in. Now, who knows if this is what happened with Pete and Chase? And I hate how little detail there is. Make something up. Don't you know we're only using you guys to learn from? I literally don't care who Pete Davidson dates, where he puts his scabby penis. I don't care. But I care about what we can learn from it. And there's just not enough details to learn anything. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe she's like, you know what? I feel like I got you on a real messy ass tear. You were pretty held together when you were with Kim Kardashian. You're dating me. You're in rehab. You're crashing the car into the side of the fucking house. This is actually not what I signed up for. Why did she get the best of you and I get the leftovers? I don't know. It's kind of brutal. We're going to keep an eye on this story and hopefully more things will come out that we can sink our teeth into, but I definitely wanted to cover it just in the beginning. All right. I just need to touch back to Kylie Jenner visiting Timothée Chalamet, his home, after reports that they broke up. So a lot of people have been noticing that on Kylie's IG, she's soft girl era. She's having a picnic and she's in a meadow and whatever. And she's less Instagram baddie. All right. First of all, stuff like this kind of, on one hand, on the feminist tip, it irritates me. It's like when Billie Eilish did that, what was it, a Vogue cover, and she was dressed like a 1940s pinup, and people are like, oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry, is the headline here, adult woman changes clothes? It's never occurred to you that they come off. I'm in a different outfit every time I see y'all. It's crazy. So on one hand, it's there's women are multitudes, I can wear a bodycon dress and get my tits out and face tune myself to the gods. And then I can also be in a meadow in a cowboy hat and, eating grapes. There are so many different sides to all of us. I don't know why that this is always so incredibly surprising to people in the media that women can change clothes. And, because it's disruptive. It's disruptive. And people in Montana have a real problem with me because I can be super, super glammy, but I can also then dress down and blend in. And it's what? Hey, dude, I'm sorry, you're super one note. I'm not. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry, you can only blend in at the stock car races in Belgrade. I can blend in there, but I can also blend in Formula One in Monaco. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a little dimensional. But on the other hand, I think the conclusions people are drawing is, oh, so she dates someone and she's got a totally different vibe. I mean, yeah, look at Kylie's life. I just got to say it. Who has she been dating her whole adult life? A black guy, a rapper? Has she not surgerized her body to look like she's a chick in a rap video? Huge ass, cartoonish proportions. Okay, now she's dating a skinny white dude who she probably outweighs. I mean, he's like an uncooked piece of spaghetti or something. I don't know. He's not my cup of tea. He's practically translucent. He's got this sort of louche, I'm a sexy snake and I slither around the village and I have this accent and okay, my name is Lyle. He's a Lyle. He's a Lyle, for God's sakes. I know people think he's hot. Those ropey spaghetti arms. Just can't stop comparing him to pasta. He's a really good actor, but sexually, it's not my cup of tea. I like a big dude, but hey, good for her. I definitely in the past have liked guys like this. I definitely had my phase, but I'm out of it now. What do you guys, are you ooh, Timothée, I'm into this. But yeah, I mean, could we be surprised that Kylie is potentially shape-shifting into what her new boyfriend wants? Part of this is simply youth. It's the folly of youth. You know, I think a lot of us, when we were younger, she just turned 26. She's got 2 kids, you know, like we can only blame so much on youth to a point. Like we would think that having kids would like mature her into kind of basically equivalent of her 30s. But sometimes it just freezes you where you're at. Sometimes you now shift your attention to your kids and you kind of stop maturing on your own. Do you think that that's true? If you guys had young kids, was that the case? Or did it hyper mature you? You know, let me know. But I definitely see why people think like, oh, here she goes again, just sort of slithering around. How do we not do that? How do we not get lost in our new relationships? First of all, don't be in a fucking relationship all the time. It's weird to me when women brag about being a serial monogamist. I'm a serial monogamist. You're a serial killer, right? Like don't use the word serial and apply it to yourself and think it's a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. To me, all I hear is, oh, I can't be alone. I can't be alone. So the next guy who comes along, I make it work for like 2 years and then I rinse and repeat. Like if you're such a serial monogamist, if you love monogamy so much, why aren't you married? I mean, if you just love the bonding, why not take it all the way? Maybe because you actually can't take it all the way. Maybe you are a chronic 6-monther and at 6 months, woo, the mask slips and you're like, I gotta go. Maybe that happens after a year, maybe after 2 years and they're starting to talk about the future in a real way. It's like, ugh. I don't know. But Kylie doesn't seem like she's great on her own. We know from Kylie that she's cold-blooded. She needs the outside world to constantly give her feedback. She doesn't seem like a secure person to me. I think she's moving in that direction for sure, but historically, no. And of course, those are the girls who have to have a guy around. And of course, those are the girls who shift into whatever the guy wants them to be. Oh no, I love Magic the Gathering. Trust me. Love it. And again, I was that person to a degree when I was younger because I didn't want to be alone. I thought it was boring. And what it came down to is I couldn't sit with my feelings. And I've been on a real journey to learn how to do that over the past few years. It's not easy at first. It's withdrawals. You want your drug, whether that drug is a guy, a drink, queso, a shopping spree, whatever. You want a drug to take you out of your feelings and into someplace else. What if you could just sit and be sober? What if you could try it? What if you could realize that your feelings actually won't kill you? They won't. It might feel like they will, but they won't. And that's kind of the worst part. You'll go on living. you will go on surviving. Boredom is not going to kill you. Horniness is not going to kill you. What if you could just ride the wave? What if a craving is not going to kill you? What would you tell an alcoholic trying to get sober or someone trying to stop vaping? But I need it. They're like, no. You're going to have to come up with a toolbox to deal with these feelings. Is it so different when it comes to emotion and being with a guy? I don't think so. I think more of us should go to rehab for like love addiction or whatever. It sounds stupid, but is it? I mean, I think it's the way most people move through this world. Just monkey vining from a relationship to the next one. I know I had for a while. And when I was able to pull back and like go through the withdrawals, and it sucked. It really sucked. But I came out on the other side of it stronger. And now when I fall for someone, it is I can still fall, but it's like I don't lose myself. I gain them, but I don't lose myself. It feels a lot better. It's a process. Okay. All right, so Ariana Madix is like super pissed at Bethany Frankel for interviewing Raquel Leviss. So this is the whole Scandoval thing. It's Vanderpump Rules. Raquel had this huge affair with Ariana's boyfriend of like 10 years who they live with, and they still live together. They broke up 5 months ago and they still live together because she's like, it's my house and I don't want to uproot my elderly cat. This is my new go-to excuse. It's my elderly cat. I don't want to re-traumatize him. That's what she said. I'm like, girl, get an apartment. Put your cat in the car and just take them there and they will be pretty much okay. Or change the fucking locks and get him out. She's like, we're working with my lawyers to figure out how to get him out. It's your house. I don't know. There's something very fishy about that. There's something that she won't admit to. you know? Like, I would rather sleep on a fucking park bench than in the same house as someone who cheated on me for a year, who was basically my husband. I will sleep under my truck. No. But she has an issue with Bethany. She's redirecting her rage at Bethany because, and she clarified, she actually didn't listen to the podcast. Okay. And a lot of people are coming for Bethany about doing this podcast because they're like, you are exploiting Raquel. How the fuck is that possible? First of all, Raquel wanted to go on there to tell her side of the story. Her side hasn't been heard. I'm sorry, are you not on a reality show where you do nothing but talk? Was there not the Vanderpump reunion? Don't you have an Instagram or a TikTok or a Twitter? Like, you have nothing but platforms. There's nothing but microphones in your face. And you're like, no one knows my side. Girl, what is your side? Let me tell you. You want me to tell you your side for you? Let me do this. You just didn't give a shit. You wanted someone. Fuck whoever's in my way. There it is. There's your side. It took me, 8 seconds to share that. It's the oldest story in the book. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote a book about this. The ends justifies the means. Fuck them. I want what I want. Why is that such a hard thing for a mistress to admit? I don't care about you and your relationship. I care about me and what I want. Am I unethical? Yeah, probably. But I'm doing what I wanted. I wanted something and I took it. Sorry about it. Sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry because I clearly would do it again. You know, I don't know. But her and Bethany talked for 104 minutes. I didn't listen to it either because I literally don't care. But Ariana took umbrage with the fact that Bethany was trying to minimize the damage of the affair because, hey, her and Tom weren't even married. They don't have kids. And, I agree with Ariana on this. It's like, why the fuck do we need kids? Like, and we're also like common law marriage. We've been together a decade. Like, we are, for all intents and purposes, absolutely espoused. And who cares? So it's not supposed to hurt because we don't have children? Bethany, that's minimizing to anybody who gets cheated on. It's like, well, you weren't married, so how much could it hurt? I agree with her on that. So I don't understand why everybody else is so pissed about it. She didn't pay Raquel. That's not how podcast appearances work. It isn't. It isn't. And I'm sorry, if Raquel hasn't found a way to monetize this, then she is a bit of an idiot. And that's what people are saying. Like, she is dumb and like very impressionable. Okay, well, is that Bethany's responsibility to protect her from herself? This is business. Like, I have to pay people because they're dumb? Fuck out of here. Moving along to other dummies, Lizzo. She is going to, she says, countersue her former dancers. And they're calling this a malicious prosecution. Okay, Lizzo's threat to countersue for malicious prosecution is an insidious attempt at intimidation and delivers a chilling effect to all harassment victims in the workplace. It delivers a chilling effect to harassment if it's a lie. Yeah. That's exactly what it's doing, because that's the point. If you pretend that you're being harassed, and if you pretend that you were forced to go to a sex club, and ooh, I was so uncomfortable, my rights are being violated, and then whoops, it comes out that you took a whole bunch of pictures with those dancers backstage, big smile on your face, front and center, posing to hitting your angles, your harassment claim kind of falls apart. And I would be chilled to the fucking bone knowing that I could be countersued for malicious prosecution for making shit up. Shit that only seemed to be a problem after you got fired from your job, fired for cause. You're recording meetings. You weren't performing your duties. Also, like, people are at-will employees. When I worked in New York, I never had any protection over my job. They could be like, I don't like your outfit, you're fucking fired. And I had zero legal recourse. I know because it happened once. Yeah, you have no legal recourse. You're like a freelance at-will employee. There's no job security. I'm sorry, did you think being a backup dancer had all this job security like you were a country veterinarian or something? It doesn't. It doesn't, girl. And if you start making up lies about your employer and there's receipts out there and it's all just a bunch of sour grapes, you bet your ass you're gonna get sued. I think that you should. We're in such a litigious society. Lawsuits are an absolute nightmare. feel for people who have to deal with it. It's years. It's tens of thousands of dollars. It's stress. It's depositions. It's reorienting your life about things. And if someone is bringing that to your doorstep just for like shits and gigs because they're pissed that they lost their job and you're a big fish and a big target, then you bet your ass you deserve a lawsuit in the back end. Good. Yes. Good for you, Lizzo. Let the truth come out. I mean, if they have a leg to stand on, why would they be mad? I'd be like, great, countersue me all you fucking want. Now you're going to owe me double. Because I can prove my claims. I wouldn't bring a lawsuit if I didn't have the truth on my side. I hope you get them, Lizzo. Yes. Britney Spears getting close to her criminal housekeeper amid her divorce with Sam Asghari. Okay. She's been spending time with a man called Paul Richard Solis. 3 names. I am never wrong. So he's 37 and he was hired about a year ago to work for Britney in the role of housekeeper to clean toilets, mop floors, pick up trash. Okay. And she's formed a close bond with him and her friends are concerned. No shit. So he's been charged with multiple misdemeanors and even a felony. Disturbing the peace, child endangerment, driving without a license, driving with a suspended license, and he had a run-in with the law a year ago when he was already working for her. Felony possession of a firearm. So he seems kind of just kind of trash, right? Trash who stumbled into a life in Britney Spears' orbit. We know about Britney. We've seen in the past these sort of Svengali bad people getting their hooks into her. Yeah, no shit, dude. When you're barely keeping it together in terms of sanity, you're a pretty easy target for predators. And guess what? Guess what her insane deranged fans are going to be calling for? Where is her family? Just wait for it. Where is her family stepping in? Oh, the family you've been villainizing for a decade? The family you've encouraged her to estrange herself from? That family? Her fans will be the death of her. Not people like us who are like, hey, this woman needs help, she's sick. Her fans are the fastest contributor to her terrible situation. 100%. Let's touch briefly to wrap this up on the Republican national debates last night, or the night before? Yeah, night before. I don't know if you guys watched it. I dipped in and out because honestly, like, I feel like there's whoever will be the actual Republican presidential candidate in America, we might not have even heard from them yet. Like, I feel like people burn out so fast. The news cycle is just so fast and they get so many chances to talk and basically to like hang themselves. You know, they just burn out. I think Nikki Haley did a really good job last night explaining why we need to keep funding Ukraine. What do you guys think about that? Like, she's basically like, we're preventing World War fucking III. Putin is essentially Hitler trying to take over the world, and if we can't repel him, we have another Hitler. And Vivek, I know I'm not saying it right. Vivek. I had a friend growing up who spelled the same way and was Vivek, and I'm sorry, I can't say it differently. I liked him at first. I'm like, oh, he's saying all the right things. And then you give someone enough rope and they'll hang themselves. Like, I want to defund the CIA and the FBI. Bitch, what are you fucking talking about? What are you talking about? You want to defund the FBI? And then you're gonna say that you're different than these people who want to defund the police? What are you talking about? He doesn't make any goddamn sense. He's probably a very good businessman. I don't think he's a politician. I don't think he has any business running America. He wants to do oil drilling like times a trillion. No. And I like Nikki Haley calling out Republicans for being a huge reason we're in so much debt and all the debt, you know, that they've approved, all the COVID stimulus bills. By the fucking way, COVID may be coming back. I don't think so. My manager is going to lose it, but nope, we're not doing this. And this is the thing. We actually have the power to not do this. Like, no, I'm going to research all the COVID restrictions so I can violate them more intentionally and harder. Nope. COVID only stopped because Americans and the rest of the world were like, I don't fucking think so. And honestly, Montana was on the forefront of that, pushing back against Biden's vaccine mandates. Florida obviously did their part. We cannot let this happen again. No. No. Like, tell me, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that Is that how you feel? You know, is that what you've observed? I can't say I've observed everybody. So what do you think? And does that get under your skin also? I hate a victim narrative. And a victim narrative is different than being victimized. You were probably absolutely victimized. The narrative is when you stay there. This is where I live now. And everything that goes wrong in my life and everything I can't do is because of this thing. Even though there's precedent for whatever this thing is, whatever this victimization is, there's precedent for people who have managed to move past it. Was that easy? No. No one is saying it's easy. That's the point. It's hard, which is probably why you don't want to move past it, because, oh, fuck, that's hard. It's a lot easier to sit in my victim narrative. Rich men north of Richmond, that's racist. That's a lot easier. And listen to how people are supporting that. It's a #1 song. BLM marches, right? But us eagles, with the eagle energy, we're like, this is bullshit. I don't want to be down here. I don't like feeling like a victim. It is personally odious to me. That does not align with how I see myself as an individual. I don't see myself that way. So I'm going to choose the hard path, but the path that is full of pride for myself as much as I can. I'm going to do as much as I can in the face of, this victimization. Whether it was how I grew up or who hurt me or assaulted me or fired me or didn't listen to me or broke up with me, I'm going to keep beating back against the concept that I deserve that. And this is where I belong because I'm a victim. I don't like how that feels. Working hard is not always great, but at least if I'm going to be like suffering, I'm going to be suffering in service of getting better and getting out of that place, not just wallowing. I'm someone who's moving forward. Tell me what you think. Did you watch the Republican debates? Fucking Chris Christie. His campaign is over. I can't even believe he has the lung capacity to bitch that much. Go home. Go home, dude. Take your corrupt ass back to New Jersey. We don't need it. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about Trump's mugshot. 215 pounds? My ass. 250 pounds. That man probably weighs 265. Give me a break, my guy. You're 6'3" and you weigh 215. I dated a professional hockey player. He was 6'3" and weighed 220. You are no New York Ranger. Tell me what you guys think about all this, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Shalligators.